Hello, hello. Ooh, we're live. What's up, Jennifer Lacey?
Good morning. Good morning, Jesse. How are you?
I am fantastico. It's another
Good.
beautiful day. Um,
Yes.
what is up? No
Not and you
BS tribe. Who are
exactly.
you? How? Huh?
No, go.
Yeah, no, I'm just kind of like, you already know, I'm super hyped.
Mhm.
Today I'm extra hyped. We were just talking about it. I made a change to my caloric intake, and what that means is my energy is higher. um, Super happy to be here connecting again with the No BS tribe,
Yes.
talking about I don't know if you saw it, Jen, but on the original post I made a comment to let everybody know that you're going to be giving everyone the answer. So I'm so
We
grateful
have
to
different answers, so I think we both are gonna have to give answers to this.
I love it. So, folks, if you're out there in the Omniverse, let us know where you're at. Let us know where you're coming in from. And just so you know, we set up the randomizer drawing the same way we did last time. So,
Mhm.
all you got to do is comment, drop an emoji, whatever. That's going to put you in the drawing. At the end of the show, we will do the raffle, and whoever wins is going to be able to get invited to come and hang out with the cultivation crew
Yes.
to expand your impact, influence, and connection skills. What do you think about that,
Yes. I
Jennifer?
think that's a great idea. So we already starting having people join in and share
Oh,
their
Rachel, what's up, Rachel?
well,
Yeah.
one, Rachel, good morning, and thank you for coming with us because we just had some really good conversations yesterday about this similar topic. So I'm excited for you to be here.
Ooh. All right, Rachel, you're gonna have to let us know, like, what is she holding back? Like, after the show, let me know if she's keeping secrets from anybody, because she has all the answers.
Yeah, I'm figuring it out just like everyone else.
So you want to run us through the housekeeping here, Jennifer Lacey? Oh, that's not what it's supposed to
Absolutely. You had it. I think it popped up. I just saw
be.
it.
Yeah, I didn't like it
Here we
that way.
go.
That's what
Yes.
I wanted to do.
Okay. So good morning. And all of you that are out there listening, I know I shared a lot this week with people that I hadn't seen on the live stream before, just to kind of, the topic is a really good one that I think resonates with a lot of people. So if you are here for the first time listening, we want to know who you are. But also, if you have been here with us for a while, but you just haven't shared, you haven't contributed, you haven't typed, into the comments and stuff, that's okay too, because we know y'all are out there. But if you can let us know only by a blue heart, so just letting us know, hey, it's my first time, and we want to, let us know you're there, or that maybe you've been here a while, but now you're just gonna, kind of pull back the curtains a little bit and let us know that you're out there listening to us. The blue heart does a couple things for us. Number one, it lets us know you're there, and so we can just kind of connect with you. And also, we have an amazing tribe. We have an amazing group of people that their goal and their purpose is to help just elevate people and shine a light on people and celebrate people and just let people know that they're not by themselves and that they have other people around them, an amazing community. And so once you do that blue heart, our tribe will kind of reach out and connect and just let you know, hey, I'm here and I'm here, following your stuff on social media and that kind of stuff. So the blue hearts help signify to us, to make sure that we can connect with you, but also our tribe members will support you as well.
Yes, yes, yes. Everything Jennifer Lacey said, and we got some people coming in. Look, Rachel's
Good.
laughing.
Okay.
We made her smile. Steve Martin, the chief marketeer, says, "Woo!" Here we go. Can't believe all Jennifer's Lacey's answers will be making it all the way to Connecticut. And then we got my brother Ian Smith says, "Good morning.
Yes.
What's up, Ian?"
Good
Um,
morning, Ian.
oh, Ian, I don't know if you heard, but next week and the following week, I am going to be in the DFW area.
Nice.
Maybe we can hang out. We also got Miss Sarah Ganella.
Yes.
Sarah says, "Good morning, tribe. Let's kick off." Oh, it's
It is. It always happens that way. I feel like we've done it like on Thanksgiving weekend. We've done it on like Christmas, New Year's weekend. Like it seems like it always falls on a holiday.
Oh my goodness. So uh can you believe that I forgot that it's a holiday?
I haven't, at no point do I not believe that. Because you like sometimes it's like, Jesse, tomorrow's Christmas. Where are you going to spend Christmas? And you're like, oh crap, I probably should go buy some gifts. Like, no, like that is just so not on your radar at all.
I'm just like not good at the holiday thing. I had like 3 calls scheduled next week with clients and other people, and they hit me up and they're like, hey, Monday's a holiday. I'm like, God darn it, don't worry. Like, yeah, that's on me. I'm just not good at the holiday thing. Uh-oh, where are we? Oh, there we go. Boom. So we got people coming in. Cindy, I see Cindy. Miss Cindy Becerra says good morning. She's not coming through the feed, but I can still see you, girl. I kind of figured a little workaround. And again, just want to remind y'all, like, as we go through the conversation, dropping a comment, one, in the chat helps us know that you're there so that we can recognize you and share the love and all that stuff. And 2, it's going to get you in the raffle, the randomizer raffle that we'll be doing at the end. So we can hang out, like actually spend more time with each other.
Yes, you get to join another amazing crew. We got lots of things going on, and you get to kind of join offline with another group of people that are really, really focusing on evolution. So it's kind of one of the things we're talking about today.
Well, that kind of takes us over to the topic, Jen. Like, you sent me very clear orders about what you wanted to have on the thumbnail and what you wanted this thing to be titled. So can you help the crew understand what's going on here?
Okay, so let's be clear. Let's make sure we set this straight. So number one is Jesse and I usually put this much effort into the in-depth topic that we're going to talk about. It usually just kind of comes to the surface based on our No BS after party, which we will have today after the show, with our tribe, where they get to talk and we really get to listen, and then other things that are happening in our lives. And so we talk anyway about a lot of things, and then we kind of go, okay, what's next, what's pressing, what's at the top of your heart, and then we make a decision, and then we just put the topic, we identify the topic, and then Jesse finds an amazing thumbnail that represents it. And so what I sent him was, sometimes I think right now, and there's a lot of conversations that are happening that I am a part of, that people are talking about growth and evolution and what's next and their path and those kind of things. And it got me thinking that there's a lot of times that what got us here won't get us there. And the way that I think about that is, all of us are doing amazing things, and we're building bodies of work and all those, a lot of things that are helping us grow and become who we are. But I think sometimes we forget that once we get to a certain point, like that identity of who we are sometimes holds us back, because now we're so invested in it that we don't want to shed it and let it go for what's next. Does that sum it up okay?
I think so. I think, and I absolutely. And what I'm excited about is like the insights and the thoughts from the tribe, for everybody that's coming in through the Omniverse. So it's like, where are you and what are your thoughts about this? Because this is a conversation you and I, feels like an ongoing conversation you and I've been having, and makes perfect sense to us, but maybe it don't make sense to anybody. And so thinking through, like, what is the thing that hinders our personal growth or accelerates it? And then part of you and I, before we went on stage, while we were getting our makeup done, you brought up the delineation between growth and like personal growth and personal evolution, which I think is an important framework to have this conversation around. For a lot of reasons, and we'll jump into that. But before we do, want to give a shout out to my brother, Mr. Ernest, coming in from the deep time. What's up, Ernest? Oh, you know what? man, I wish I had, maybe I could figure out, or maybe Ernest, if you got the link to your YouTube video, drop it in the chat. So he is a phenomenal writer, and he is a super skilled orator. So the way he reads his poetry, it's an experience. And he just kind of took one of those big courageous steps, recorded a video of him reading one of his pieces and posted it on YouTube.
That's awesome.
So y'all got to check him out. I don't know the link. I know I follow him, but that's all. Anyway, so Ernest, thank you for being here. And then we got Miss Leslie coming in from the New York City. What's going on, sister? Good morning to us and everybody. Yes. Oh man, I always like seeing her smile. And yeah, folks, if you're on the LinkedIn, you'll notice that my profile pic shows my older, long, flowing locks. I've since taken care of that. Trying to look more professional and presentable here.
Fabio, that's his nickname, Fabio. He's got another identity. He's got Chewy. Now he's got Fabio.
Yeah. Okay. So Jen, I want to kind of start on this conversation around personal growth, or transformation, evolution, all the words. You had a post earlier this week where you were watching a video and you picked up on some of your behavior and how that behavior impacted somebody you cared about. And then you shared about that. So for me, that is a marker of growth in self-awareness and growth in maybe some fuel to change and adapt and operate in a different way. So can you give the folks the background, and let's dive into that.
Okay. So as most of us do, we have memories that pop up on our phones randomly with photos and videos. And so earlier this week, maybe it was last week, and I don't remember, but I had a video pop up of my now 15-year-old daughter when she was about 3 or 4 years old, maybe 4, at the arcade playing skee ball, and, videoing her in all of her glory with her just excited playing a game that she probably first time she'd ever played it. And I'm videoing her. And so I was watching it, and there's not a lot of noise in it. And so I'm watching it, and about 3/4 of the way through, she's, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. But she's trying to play, and she's failing miserably. Like the ball's going all over the place. But she looks like she's having fun. And there's a point where my voice is the only thing you hear going, roll it. And that is how I'm talking to her in the video. And you can literally, once you go back and are aware of what I'm saying and what I'm pointing out, and then you watch her, it's like the point of when I do that, it changes her energy. It changes the way that she is engaged in doing this game. And obviously at that point, I was just taking a video of my daughter. But Jessica, you've talked about that, the evolution and the way that we grow and the way that we our internal growth and our internal evolution sometimes is happening, and we're kind of aware of it, but we're not really sure how it's impacting things. When I watched that video, it should have brought me nostalgia. It should have brought me like, oh my gosh, my daughter. All I could think about was, what the hell was I thinking? Like, why was I completely screwing up this child's experience by trying to make sure she did it right? And then it got me thinking, like, whoa, like what was that? And then it really made me think about the way that right now I am engaging with my children, now 13 and 15. So, they were younger back then, but now, and you and I talked about this too. Now when I'm having conversations with them via text, via phone, via in person, sometimes it can get elevated or heated at no fault of theirs. So my life is crazy sometimes, and I'm dealing with decisions and work and parents and things like that. And there was a time that this week that I was interacting with my daughter on the text, and it was just very aggressive and very, like, I was frustrated, and she was just like, never mind. And she just hurried. And I was just like, oh, like, it has nothing to do with her. I just got off the phone with somebody else. I was mad. So I, like, when she got home from school, I was I was like, hey, like, I know, like, earlier today, like, that was all me. Like, that was all me. That was not anything you did. And I want to apologize because I took it out on you. And then it ended up causing that conversation to go in a wrong direction. That part is what I observed when I was watching my then 4-year-old daughter. That, in my mind, and you and I talked about it, is the evolution of me going, like, I'm the parent, yes, and I get to have control here, but also, like, I also have to own and grow and evolve and help them become better. And I'm not going to do that if I just keep being the person that I was. Does that sum it
Okay.
up?
Yeah, no, I love it. There's a whole lot there. Folks, if you're out there in the Omniverse and you've experienced something similar, give us some hearts and some thumbs up. But I want to pick on something. You
Okay.
said there at the very end, you said you have to own it and do something about it.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you have to?
Okay. No, nobody's making me do that, but I think I have self-imposed that on myself. Like, at this point, when I don't, and it's not just my children, it's in general. If there's an interaction, and I had one at, this past week in the office where I reacted to someone doing something just because I was distracted, but my tone and the way that I said it, I could see in their response, they were like, "Ooh, let me," and I, like, the rest of the meeting, I couldn't even focus because I needed to go and apologize and tell her, hey, like, I did not mean that tone with you. Like, so you don't have to, but for me internally, it is now what I have to do before I can, like, move like that. I think that is part of my evolution and my growth.
Yeah, I love it. Okay. So I want to drive that home.
Okay.
The point is, you don't have to. You are a successful, accomplished woman.
Mhm.
You can continue to operate exactly the way you're operating until your time runs out.
Yes.
And that would not be a bad thing.
Right. It won't be a fail. Yes.
Right. It won't be a fail.
Mhm.
But for whatever reason, and we'll get into that, I think, why change? Why grow? Why get on the evolution path? So we're going to dive into that some more.
Okay.
I'm going to give everybody a heads up. We have dropped, Ernest, thank you. He dropped the link to his YouTube oration. And so I put those out there. They're on the YouTube, on the LinkedIn, and it's on the Facebook. So thank you for that, Ernest. Y'all check it out because that boy's got skill. Sarah gave a nice little purple heart.
Thank you.
I think that was for Bella for biting her head off because she wasn't doing skee ball right. And then we got Mr. Jim Guntorian.
Yes, you get to see him next week.
I am going to see him next week. I get to spend some time up on the stage with him at the Breakthrough Builders Network event. And so, I kind of floated this idea out there with Ian, like, hey, I'm going to be up there. Let's hang out. So I'm going to drop the link in the chat for folks. If you want to sign up, we're going to be having a conversation around breaking down the silos and a bunch of freaking amazing construction professionals out there that want to make things better. That's the audience. So we're going to have a good time. Then Miss Leslie says, do you have to? The question, do you have to? That is a question we need to ask ourselves often. Do we? So, come on, Jim. What do you think?
I got a question for you. So you and I've talked, and it's a what is the one thing? And so we just kind of talked about I got to make a choice, to do something or not to do something. So to see what is in your opinion, and I think this will feed into some other conversations. What is the one thing that hinders or keeps us from being able to grow and evolve?
I'm going to answer that two ways.
Okay.
I'm going to answer it what I know hinders me,
mm-hmm.
and what I observe hinders a lot of people that I work with and interact with.
Yes.
So what hinders me is the fear of leaving people behind, right? Or maybe not even, it's not so much a fear anymore, because I know it's going to happen, but reconciling, right, the emotional tax that I'm going to experience in reconciling who I'm going to leave behind.
Mhm.
It used to be a fear, right? It used to be this thing like, oh, I don't want to leave anybody behind. I don't want to lose the people. What if, what if, what if, what if? That's kind of what fear sounds like for me. But now it's like, there's no fear because I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's the emotional tax of reconciling leaving people behind. Why? Because the ultimate way to break my heart is to abandon me. Abandonment is my kryptonite. But because of my rate of growth and evolution and all the words, I leave people behind. And I have to come to terms with that. So that's what slows me down or hinders me. What I think I see in the people that I work with and have conversations with, it's indecision, right? It's indecision that is like, if I think of the blocks, indecision is the first block that people have to experiencing that growth or that evolution.
Indecision of what?
Exactly. Right. So to your, we'll use your video, right? What you started us off with. You saw that your response to a specific situation did not represent you well. It did not
Yes.
produce the outcome that a better outcome,
Mhm.
and you decided to be different.
Mhm.
You snapped at somebody in a meeting and you saw the impact it had on that human being, and you decided to say, hey, like, that wasn't cool, my bad.
Mhm.
And so what I see there is a decision to be vulnerable,
Ooh.
right? And so I don't think the decision is just one thing. I think the one thing is the decision. People
Ooh.
see the need or motivation, a catalyst to change, but they won't decide yes or no. And I'm not saying that yes is right or no is right. I'm saying that the freaking decision is
Vision.
the
Yes.
most important piece. What do you think?
I love that. And so, and I want to ask a follow-up question is, how many times, Jesse, and I guess and you're kind of magical in this space, so that's why I want to push you a little bit, but how many times do we not ask the question because of the fear of like, of what I don't know what the outcome's going to be?
Oh, so I'm going to go to the chat because Mr. Ernest is being ultra courageous. And he says, I think what hinders is uncertainty.
Mhm.
Because if what I'm doing now is working and then I change, maybe I will fail. I've heard husbands who were afraid to be more caring because they were uncertain if their wife would accept them that way. Yes. Right. So I'm not okay with going into like, this is why, right? There's a
Mhm.
lot of language out there and a lot of messaging around, well, it's because of this.
Mhm.
I don't think it's because of one particular thing.
Mhm.
And that's based on, again, people that I've worked with and
Mhm.
my own journey, because the decision is the thing. The
Yeah.
reason I'm not making the decision has
Yeah.
varied dramatically depending on what the situation is. And so, like our brother, Mr. Joseph says, massive action is required.
Yes.
Um, but I think generally, if I had to like loosen it up and water it down, I would say generally it is that uncertainty. I know what to expect if I continue to operate exactly the way I'm operating right now. I know what the outcomes are going to be. It's pretty predictable. It's very stable. It's comfortable.
Mhm.
And if I do anything different, I don't know yet what that's going to be. And that's a little like, right? So I think that's a natural dynamic. Now, I'm a little crazy. And it's like, well, hell, let's go ahead. Let's just do the damn thing,
Mhm.
right? Let's just figure that out because it may be the right decision. It may be the wrong decision. It doesn't matter. The only way to know is to make the freaking decision.
Yes.
right? The
Yes,
only way
yes,
to know is
yes.
to make the damn decision. And here's the thing: if it blows up in my face, I can make a different decision.
Right, because then you know what not to do.
Exactly. Like it's very simple in my head. But if I don't make the decision, I will stay precisely where I'm at forever. And then the question is this: is that okay? Is it what you want? Do
Right.
you have to? That's to me the most important thought that I want the tribe out there to like chew on. Maria gives us a good point. So the cost to stay the same has to be higher than the perceived cost of change. Like
Oof.
I know that 100, like in change management and the work that I do, like if it's gonna, if the cost, the impact, the negative feelings, etc., are greater to change than what I'm currently experiencing or companies are currently experiencing, they're gonna stay the same.
Uh-huh.
But when they're getting their asses kicked and life sucks,
Mhm.
holy moly, they are motivated to change. And I agree, Maria. Like even in a personal, I think we tolerate a whole lot more bullshit in our personal lives than we will in our professional lives. And so there's a whole lot of other stuff that's associated
Mhm.
with that. But anyways, how did I do in answering your
You did
question, Jen?
great, Dizzy. And so I shared a quote with you this week, and I think it feeds into this. On I think it was around we are in a place of like making those steps forward, and we are very much enjoy that. But I think the quote had to do with even the steps back are part of the dance. And and it's that like in all of us, high performers, people that are out there making change, like all of that, like we have to understand part of the process is that trying something, okay, that didn't work. Let me go back and let me like that. It's part of that dance. And just I mean, I know you used salsa dancing a lot, but like everything's not just you taking a step forward, right?
Yes. I, well, and so I think that's another thing, right? Is the here it is, and this is like I love everybody. I'll just say that. There's my freaking disclaimer. There are proven, tried, and worn paths out there for people to follow.
Mhm.
Go to school, do good, go to college, get a degree, get a job, get promotions, right? Buy the house, retire, go on vacations. That's a proven and true path.
Mhm.
There's not a lot of growth and exploration necessary to experience the value of that
Right.
path,
It's already established. Yes.
right? It's
Yes.
fine. Like, and there's nothing wrong with it. But then there's some psychos like us that path, it just ain't doing it. And I say psycho, Joseph says he's not a little crazy, he's courageously crazy, baby. Hell yeah. I know a bunch of people, especially kind of the people that I spend one-on-one time with. They're at this point in their life where it's like, yeah, this isn't what I thought it was supposed to be. Like there's something missing. And so for me, that thing that's missing requires me to find a different path. And more importantly, create a different path that's going to bring me fulfillment. Now, what that also means is that damn path don't exist right now.
That part.
Right. And so sometimes I'm going to make super rapid progress and then I'm going to freaking trip and fall in a ditch and have to climb my way back out. Sometimes I'm going to have to make a hard left for longer than I wanted it to be before I
Mhm.
go forward. And so, how does that relate to dancing? Well, when we're dancing, I learned when I'm dancing with the partner and we can communicate by the tension and the pressure that we exchange through our bodies,
Mhm.
that dance is freaking awesome. It's dangerous too, because like I'm sure people fall in love with me, right? But in terms of like leading and building in some like complex patterns and like really, really just knocking it out, having an amazing experience, it's because of the pressure and the tension, right? The pressure is where our hands are connected and I'm pushing and you're pushing. The tension is I'm pulling you from here and she's pulling me from my shoulder. And so as long as we maintain that, we can do all kinds of fancy stuff, right? Crossbody leads and sexy stuff. And it's not always going forward. Sometimes it's circular. Sometimes it's sideways, right? And but what's the important thing is the experience. The value and the depth and the richness of the experience comes from letting go of, we got to be going forward. We always got to be going forward. No, you don't. You can. But for me, that's boring. I don't want just forward. What do you think, Jen?
Yes, and I want to bring another example in, and somebody that we hold dear very much. Buddy, and we talked about Buddy a little bit last time, but I want to bring Buddy in because the way that he led and the way that he experienced change, there was a component there that you and I have talked through a little bit, but I want to bring it to the surface. So I can interact with my children because I love them. I can interact with my coworkers and I care about them. But his compassion and his kindness in that mix of being able to I wasn't obligated to apologize. I wasn't obligated to have the video and talk to Belle about it and just talk to her about what I saw, whatever. It was no obligation. And so I think it's the balance of, yes, you're evolving and there's something different in you that you want to be better, but then also the care and the compassion and the kindness of how the interaction goes. And and Buddy represented that. He again was a high performer, and his change later in life came from his core was the kindness and the compassion mixed with wanting change and helping people kind of see through that process. And I think sometimes we forget that because we get so caught up on, like Marie, the cost and the ROIs and the things that we get so caught up on is it the right decision or is it not? And then bringing in that care and that compassion and that kindness to be able to help people, bring them along, even the care and the compassion and the kindness of, you know what, they're just not there yet. They're not here. And that's okay. And I can still care about them. They just may not be here with me.
Yes. But I'm gonna add that. I'm gonna add to that.
Okay.
Because I've done it wrong for a long time, right? Jen, I think I'm kind of I'm an instigator. If you let me know or give me even a fraction of a signal that you want to change and try have a different experience, I'm going to go there.
Yes, you are.
But the ultimate for me, I've got to be really responsible because some people they're not ready for it. They don't want it and also they're not prepared to put in the work and experience the friction of what that transformation feels like.
Yes.
They think they want it, right? And so those are kind of little dividers in the same bucket. And the main point is, and I asked this, I asked you this, is this something you want to do?
Yeah.
Or is this something you're just talking about?
Yeah.
Because if you're just talking about it, I know I just need to keep my thoughts and ideas and energy to myself.
Yep.
But if it's something you actually want to do, let's go. We're gonna do something. So I want to we got Mr. MD Abdur coming in from Bangladesh.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for jumping in. I want to give a quick reminder to folks that as you comment and contribute to the conversation, you are getting thrown into the raffle randomizer, and we'll have an award here at the top of the hour. We got some good comments, Jen. What do you think? You think I should read them?
Yes. Bring them up.
All right. And I'm going to pose a question to the Omniverse. The question is this: is there a difference between personal evolution and personal growth? I think I know what Mr. Joe Gonzalez's answer is going to be. Sarah says, I observe avoidance, which can also be indecision. What I also observe is that people that join these conversations and the after party are seeking personal growth. What do you think, Jen?
100%. I think the people that we've seen that have been part of these conversations, just online, even some of the stuff that we do with Cultivation Crew and Emotional Bungee Jumpers, we have seen the evolution of where they were versus where they are now. It's visible and it's intentional.
And I'm going to say it's contagious.
Yes, that part too. I think when you get a community, when you get a tribe and a community around you, that the only benefit to them is that they get to be a part of it. It's a different motivation than I get to, whatever the outcome is, it's contributing to my bank account. Like when there are people around you that the only thing they're getting from it is to be able to be a part of it with you, the energy's different.
Yes. All right. We got Mr. Sean Ray coming in. He says, change is inevitable in life. How do you know if the grass is greener or not on the other side of the fence if you don't take the leap of faith for your personal or career growth? You'll never know if you don't try anything new, but don't ever burn any bridges along the way. I'm going to add to that, Sean, unless it's a freaking miserable bridge or a bridge back to garbage, because I understand the thought, but there are some people that I just don't have any interest at all wasting my time with.
Revisiting, right? Like sometimes you just got to, those are just seasons. And I had this conversation this week. Sometimes those are just seasons in your life, and you're in that season, and then you get to move on from it. And there's no obligation to stay and kind of be attached to it if it's not helping you grow, if it's not helping you become whatever your purpose is, or what are you trying to do, if it's not getting you closer to that, and if anything, it's kind of tethering you back. Like that's the point of this conversation, is it's okay. There's not an obligation to go just in case. Guess what? You can have zero tether to somebody, and if it's meant to be, and things work back around and whatever, then you know what, it'll happen. And if not, how many other things now are you going to experience because you're not, trying to hold on to this other thing?
Oh, I don't know if we'll have time for it today, Jen, but maybe we should think about the idea of how many passive neutral engagements we have.
That part, yes.
Right? Like just the passive neutral. And what's the cost of that? The energy and focus cost of tolerating passive, neutral, indifferent relationships or interactions. Anyways, maybe we won't talk about it. We'll see. Ian says, I've learned more from my failures. Yes. Make incremental changes, fail safely. Actually, beautiful strategy. It takes a brave soul to jump in, but there could be a massive reward in your growth. Mm-hmm. Yes. And so Ian knows, he's an expert at this kind of stuff. Expert leader, right? If you're new, like if you've been on the indecision fence, right? I'm thinking, I don't know, like fine. Just make a little baby change. Here's the thing, like you can make a decision and there can be months between the first action after making the decision. That's okay. That happens to me too. But when, like, for real, if you don't make the decision, the action never comes. So the smallest thing that we can do in terms of accelerating our personal growth or our evolution is to make the decision. I'm going to do it or I'm not going to do it. Get definitive about what the hell you want and where the hell you're going. Because it creates, for me anyways, it creates like bandwidth to say, okay, I've decided I'm going to do this. Well, how the hell am I going to do it? How fast am I going to do it? What are the implications? Like I can start evaluating, which is kind of the little half step before I do something about it. Now, for me, that timeline is like this. Mm-hmm. Most things, some things it's like this, and people, you just don't know it. But my point is incremental change, start making decisions, start getting definitive about what the hell you want and where the hell you're headed. What do you think?
Yes, I have a question for you. Because another element to the stuff that the incremental changes. So we as a group meet with some amazing, game changers. And we have challenges that we challenge each other and go out and kind of, and a lot of those kind of are some incremental changes when you're having conversations about things differently. And one of the challenges was over a year ago was share something you would do or try if you knew you couldn't fail. And that was a challenge. And so it was like ask people that question, but also your own like really reflect on that question. And so that was one thing. So then it was like, oh, what would I do if I couldn't fail? And some of them are, like very tangible things. Like I would go jump out of an airplane, or I would, just different things like that. For me, mine was letting go of control. And so that I think my point is it's one thing to like identify it. And then every month we like talk about it. And it's sharing whatever that change or whatever that is, maybe that thing that is scaring you, having someone that you can share it with, because then it's outside of your head, which is very big. And then I'm just going to ask you, once that was established, and then every month it's like, hey, what are you doing working towards that thing? And we talk about it. Like, how impactful is that? And what have you seen over the last year after I voiced this very scary thing for me?
Yeah. So I'll say for you, and then I'm going to broaden it out, right?
Yes.
Like the exercise was simply share. And, again, it's one of those things you didn't have to.
Nope.
Nobody in the crew had to. It was just a challenge. What would you try if you knew you couldn't fail? Answer that question. Share that idea with 3 people. That was it. What ended up happening, what I got to see in you is you shared it, right? You made the decision, you vocalized it either in text or you said it to the crew, to the team on the call. And then like that got the ball rolling. It was like taking your foot off the brake.
Yes.
Right? You didn't slam on the gas. You just took your foot off the brake to say, man, I need to release control. Like if there's something I could do that wouldn't fail, and I knew I couldn't fail, I would release control. And since then, so that's what was going on with you. I've seen your awareness, your stress level, your energy dramatically change. Like, and you've shared with me about, the people at work, your people at home that are like that type of it. The interaction has transformed dramatically. And I think it's connected way to that decision you made way back, right?
I agree.
Now, the sharing of it, here's what's the crazy thing. Like the plan was just like, here, go do this uncomfortable thing. That was the challenge. And not just you, but it was Tats who kind of started it. Not only did he ask or answer the question, he said, well, shit, why don't I do something in that direction? And then the rest of us were like, oh, well, let's keep doing that. And so I think what's happened, which I think is beautiful, is when we ask ourselves the question, that's a pretty damn big question. And then when we answer it and with other human beings, we share it, it's like pouring water on the idea.
Yes.
And then people, what I've been able to see in you and Sarah does it, a lot of the crews doing it, it's like people are actually taking steps, not big, gigantic ones. Nobody's going and getting a 6-figure business loan to go do some wacky crap, just small steps in the direction of that big, big, giant idea.
Yes.
And so I think it's a combination of thinking about it, chewing on it, articulating it, sharing it with other people, and then continuing to invite the conversation. Because if you don't take a step, the police,
no one's gonna know.
It's fine. But if you do take a step and you share it with other people, I think what happens is it has an inspiring effect on everybody else to say, man, that wasn't hard. That wasn't scary. The sky didn't fall down on her. Hell, I need to take a step too. I like what she's doing. I like what I see. I want some of that. So it's kind of messy, but that's kind of what I've been able to observe. How did I do on my answer?
Oh, you did great. And you and I talked about this earlier, maybe it was like yesterday, is a lot of times when we think about personal growth or what's next or our evolution, we think about it from the outward mindset. We think about what on the outside. So like right now, I work for a company and I do stuff with you. And so if I want to like grow and evolve, I got to let that stuff go. I got to jump and do what's next. Like outwardly, people got to see that I don't want to be here anymore. And I don't agree with that. And you know that sometimes letting go of things is internal. letting go of like the identity of who we are, our value, what makes us who we are. We get so caught up and so attached to that that is what keeps us from being able to take that step and to maybe make a different choice. It doesn't mean we have to just let go of everything and just hope in the wind that everything's going to be great. Sometimes it's that internal of, yes, this is my value, and yes, this is what people have identified as why I'm who I am. And if I want to move forward and do some other things, I'm going to have to let go of some of that. And that to me is a scary space.
Why?
Thoughts? I think because I think it's because I mean our value is what helps us feel like we're doing something, our purpose, our like the reason that someone recognizes me or the reason that someone wants me to come and help them is because of my body of work, what I've done, what I've established. And so to let go of some of that just means my value, I'm letting it go. Yeah. And that's not true, but internally, because I'm so attached to that identity, yeah, it is like, then how else could I be and provide value to people if I'm letting go of this thing that got me here?
Yeah. Who am I if I don't do that anymore?
Yes, right? Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a real thing. And there's a couple comments I want to absolutely bring up here. Ernest says, all the possibilities exist within uncertainty, even impossibility, right? Like, yes, you keep running the same play, you're going to get the same thing. Not to say that's bad, not to say that that's an indication that you're a lesser being, but you're going to have the same experiences. You're going to have the same flavors over and over and over. Like, that's just the way it's going to be. And you need to know that, right? Yes. That's my thing, is you need to know that and own it. Like, if you already know this, and the tribe's heard me whine about this, like, if you're not going to take steps about the thing you've been complaining about, I'm not the person to have that freaking recurring conversation with. Like, I don't, like, like, rewind. I got Netflix to watch reruns. I don't need your bullshit. Make a decision and do something, or don't. Like, be definitive. Anyways, I'm going to throw this up here because I want to come back to it. But Joseph says, and reinforces kind of the point you made. It's making the decisions, like the identity stuff, the who am I, what's the impact going to have, understanding all of that. When we're talking about this change and evolution, I am not talking about go buy a new house, go live in the mountains, be a nomad freaking blogger. That's not what I'm saying. That's the outcome. That's the outward thing that can happen. Where the meat and the meaning happens is in here.
Yes.
Right. And so Joseph says, you don't have to change. Don't change your surroundings, but change their role in your life.
Jesse, like we just talked about that, and that feeds in. Again, there's probably not even on topic right now, but like, how much do we let status and perception dictate our space and our decisions?
Do we even know it?
Right.
All right. So we asked the question. We got some beautiful answers, Miss Sarah. The question to personal growth and personal evolution.
Okay.
Sarah says, when I hear personal evolution, I think of the multitude of things that have changed over time.
Okay.
Personal growth are the incremental changes along the way. She can't wait to hear from others.
Ooh, awesome. So the changes versus the results, like what the decision you made versus what the outcome was. Ooh, I like that.
Right. Leslie says, the difference between evolution and growth. Interesting question. My initial thought, I evolve because I grow. P.S. I still need time to think about this. Awesome. What do you, let's see. We got some other comments here. Steve Martin says, the difference is trajectory. Doing nothing, status quo thinking causes you to evolve like this, little bitty arrows, straight line arrows. personal growth mindset, hashtag better is this journey, right? Twisty, turny, up and down, which ultimately leads to up, up. Yeah.
Yes, I like that. I like that. Again, we talked about status quo will get you promoted. Status quo will get you like it will. You can make a decision that that's the world you're going to live in. And again, there's nothing wrong. Like people that make those decisions, they can still have good lives. And then there are people that is like that status quo is not going to. They're not going to be happy. And if you're in the world where status quo and just doing what you're supposed to do and follow the path that's laid in front of you, if that's making you miserable or that's making you not happy, then there's other things you can do that may be a little scary, that may be a little uncertain, and you can do that. And if that brings you joy, brings you, you get to follow your passion, you find your purpose, then there are people that's what they need. And so again, you and I are not saying one is right or wrong. We just know that there are crazy, outrageously crazy people that want to do something different than what's been done before.
Yeah. And I'll answer the question for me. Personal growth for me is getting better at what I'm good at. Personal evolution is finding new ways to share my gifts and talents, developing new gifts and talents. It is a very different path, different experience, different energy for me.
So I want to, I guess for me, just in summarizing it, growth is going to happen just because it's like the physical part of us. We're going to continue to grow. And so sometimes it's intentional and sometimes it's not. To me, evolution is very similar to yours. Is I'm making different choices and I'm being intentional about something that's going to change what was there before. So my example to you is I grew up with a single father, and he made decisions as a father to raise his kids. And there are things that I really thought he did great, and there's some things that I'm like, he probably made some choices there based on circumstances that probably weren't the best things. And as a parent now with kids, I get to take the good things and I get to go, hey, I want to make sure I reinforce these, but I also get to make changes so that I am not the exact same person he was. And to me, that is me evolving, using that data, using that information also to help me, because then that's going to help my children be better parents.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's an important point, because I say it this way, the way I operated, like my operating system in my 20s and my 30s came from it was somebody else's program, right? It was my parents, it was the adults, it was the education system, like all the things, right? They gave me this framework and form of way of thinking and evaluating and decision making and problem solving, blah, 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 blah. I didn't have to keep it. Like, it was not serving me. I felt suffocated by it. And so I got to change, adjust, rewrite my operating system. And so back to what you were pointing out, I think, like, for me, I know that kind of sounds super mechanical, but that's how I look at it. It's like, okay, we'll talk about at the verge of, like, at the risk of letting people know how big a nerd I am. We've talked about 8-3s. You know how I feel about 8-3s.
Yes.
8-3 thinking, that problem solving framework. I've learned it from multiple experts and like, really, like, for real, people that have done bunches and bunches of them. The way they teach it and the way they think about it is a miserable experience for me. And I've seen it be very painful for people in the space that I serve, which is construction professionals. So the way, like, all the little knick-knacky things, all the inputs that they think, that frame the thinking and application of it around, I say, that don't work. I'm going to justify the thing so that it provides the intended outcome and a better experience while learning it and doing it. And so that's my point is, there's a lot of conversation of, this is the way to do things. This is the, okay. That if it don't work for me, I'm going to make it work for myself. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. What do
Well,
you
and
think,
Jesse,
Jeff?
so I have a question. So when you and all of that makes complete sense because you are finding a way for it to work for you and finding a way that maybe it helps connect better with the people that are in your space. But what if somebody else is doing it different and it is not in the way that you think is best?
Good.
How do you respond to that?
I think good. Awesome. Because I also had another conversation about like, what if people are coming in and stealing your idea and aren't you worried about, they're going to just go and I'm like, no, I'm not. Because several reasons. One, if I covet it and it's my precious, and I am the only source to help people with that thing, I do not physically have the capacity to help every son of a gun out there that needs that help. Period. Now, I also know if, let's say, for example, if got Craig just dropped a comment. Thank you, Craig. Let's say, for example, Craig said, hey, I'm going to teach the thing that you do exactly the way you do it. I could get like, wait a minute, we got to have a licensing agreement. Or I could say, awesome. Because there's another truth there. Some people like my flavor. Some people can't stand my flavor. Some people need it in the flavor that Craig gives. Right. And so in terms of like all of that, whatever that is, it's like, I'm not going to waste any energy on that because there is an audience for everybody. And your style, your flavor, your angle, your perspective, the depth or the shallow, it doesn't matter. Whatever that is, somebody needs that. And that somebody that needs that isn't ready for what I got. And that's okay. I know that, is that too?
No, it's good. And what it's making me realize, so my question is like, is evolution ever bad?
I am going to say for me in Jesse land, no, because it's the only thing that keeps me sane.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. And I agree. I agree that, and it goes back to your, I have something and if someone else takes it in my mind, and you and I are in the same wavelength, is like, if someone else takes something that I created and they take it and they take it and they duplicate it, that's great because we're sharing and more people are exposed to it. If they take it and they, in their minds, make it better, or they make a change, or they adjust it, or whatever, and that to me is evolution. That you took something and then you in your mind, and Steve likes that hashtag better. You have made it better for your space.
Yep.
I don't see that as a bad thing. I don't see that as they're taking my intellectual property and they are now changing it to adapt to something else that I'm not even touching. I don't even have any impact into that at all. And they may not even go, I took this from Jennifer. It's still growth and it's still helping and sharing and doing stuff. And you know what? It could fall flat. It cannot work, or it could. And like, if we get so caught up on all of those little things, sometimes it's hindering our progress.
Yes. Yes. I for me, I'm going to say it a different way.
Okay.
It's the thinking that there is one right way.
That way. Yes.
Right. I think that's the tripping point. There are a lot of, my way is not the way, it is a way.
Yes. Yeah.
And so kind of back to like the operating systems, this personal development and evolutionary growth, whatever words we're using today. Like, my way is a way. If personal growth is your style, do that. If you want dramatic change, exponential growth, and that changes your like whole life experience and the way you contribute, do that too. Like, there are ways to do that. I think for me, if anyone takes anything out of this conversation, what I want people to like land on and really chew on is, are you being definitive about what the hell you're doing? Are you definitive about, are you going for radical transformation, enormous evolution, or are you growing? right? Like neither is wrong. I just think it's important to be thinking through that.
Yes, we got some good comments. Got people.
We do. We got
I
some
know,
really
yes, yes, we got some good
Um,
people that are contributing.
We got Miss Holly. Oh my God, Holly! You know what? I've been seeing some of her posts. She's got something baking, cooking.
Nice.
How you doing, Holly? She says, "My dad always told me when someone copies you, take it as a compliment and help them however you can."
Yes,
I-
I agree with
Amen.
Holly. I agree with Holly 100%.
Who else we got? Mr. Ian Smith says, "Let's be honest. Be the best version of yourself. Coveting what others have or do doesn't serve you. We are all on our path at the speed we choose." Yes, right? Know that. Um, the uncommon communicator, James Gable, says, "I don't think evolution is ever bad. If we are not getting better, we are getting worse. Without growth, we are in decline." I completely agree with that line of thinking.
Mhm.
And then Miss Maria says, "They can get the recipe, but the sauce won't taste the same."
There we go.
Right?
You and I talk about this all the time with the stuff. So we do this, but we also do emotional bungee jumpers, and we also do cultivation crew. And emotional bungee jumpers, there's a process there, and it kind of, you came in and we've done it. I've gone and done it, my way. You've let other people have taken it and gone and done it their way. And there's been some questions like, Jesse, why are you letting people take this process and go and do it, and like you don't get credit for it? Like you've had to deal with some of those conversations.
Oh yeah. Yeah, totally. And I'm like, so, and I'm going to draw a line here because some people might need it. My goal, my mission, the thing that drives me and fulfills me is serving others. It's helping people, escorting people, introducing people to the promise they are intended to be. Period.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the same as me wanting to build a business that generates $1 million of annual recurring revenue and grows by 5% every 24 months.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because if that was my goal and my driver, then hell yes, I would be pissed off about people taking my intellectual property and monetizing it because they're blah, 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 blah. If that's your style, go do that. My style is, how can I serve the largest number of people possible? Here's this little experiment that we started freaking 2.5 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I've seen it's impacted you, it's impacted a bunch of people. And then people said, "Hey, well, I want to go do that with my team." Awesome. Please do, because I know the impact it has on people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's easy for me to say, like, I will admit, like, come on, like, give me at least say, that fool Jesse, like I experienced this with him, right? Throw me a bone. I like attention, I like credit. But if I don't get it, the way I can reconcile it is, okay, that kind of sucks. But what was the audience's experience? Did they have the same awakenings?
Right.
Did it cause the shift? Did it trigger awareness? The answer is always yes. I'm like, well, hell yeah, that was my point. Like, sure, some credit would be nice, but did it have the impact? Did it shake their head just a little bit, shift their thinking just a little bit? The answer is yes, and it always is. Mission accomplished. So
because you're thinking about it from the perspective of, is it something that is moving people in the direction of what my goal is?
Yeah. Right. Like, is it on the path? Yes. Okay. All the other stuff would be nice, but I ain't gonna let it steal that joy that I can get out of recognizing that I did contribute, because that's what I keep saying I want to do.
Yes.
All right, folks.
The words need to match our actions.
Say again?
Our words need to match our actions. So we can't say that our goal is outside and other and serving people, but our actions don't reflect that.
Well, and I'm going to add to that. The way to like get good at that and become aware of that is community.
Mm-hmm.
Find somebody or a group of somebodies to reflect back to you what they see.
Yes.
And I've had this conversation with a lot of people like, hey, like, I got to share an observation with you. Okay, what? You say these things, but these behaviors that I see, they're disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
Like, help me understand the connection, because maybe there is some rationale that I just can't grasp. Most of the time, people are like, shit, thank you for pointing that out, because we cannot see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of what helps me is I invite a lot of people to speak into it. And when my words, the things that I say and espouse and post about, aren't visible in my day-to-day behaviors, my reactions to human beings, I'm out of alignment. And so I just need to, I may want, like I'm telling, I'm going to steal this one from Chris Davis. Most of us are telling the story that we want to do. Right?
Nice. I like
We're
that.
not necessarily there yet, but because, we do these things because we're human, we frame the message and the thinking of what we aspire to be, which is a little further ahead than where we actually are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's bad. But there are some people that they don't realize that the story they're telling that they want to do is about a year and a half away from where they actually are. And we can help each other, like, hey, bro, like maybe back the language up or expand your self-awareness, deepen your self-awareness to close that gap.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that. Telling the story, but not living the story. So like, how do you bridge that?
Yes. And so two things. One is the answer to the question of the one thing that damages your personal growth. I got my answer, Jen. What's yours?
I think it's the same. Jesse, I think we need to like 1, 2, 3. We say it at the same time. I swear, I think it's the same. But for me, the one thing that has damaged my trajectory, we're going to use Steve's words, what's next for me is me.
Awesome. The one thing that has damaged my personal growth is also you, Jen. No, it's me.
Sometimes I have to hold you back. I can't let you go and jump off the cliff. Sometimes it has to happen that way.
No, it's 100% me. And I want to, like, folks, think about that, right? You can blame me for as long as you need to, but what's your contribution? You want to do this giveaway randomizer thing?
Yes. Let's do this. So really quick, setting the stage, just in case there's any last minute people. If you're listening, all you have to do is just contribute a comment. That's all you have to do. And what it will throw you into the randomizer, and then it does it and you get to win. And so the prize is, and Jesse, we didn't go through this, so let me do that real quick. It gives them a chance to do that, is we have a group of people that get together and we talk about growth when it comes to communication and connecting to other people. And we also talk through like how to do facilitation better, how to be a better storyteller, how to give and receive feedback better, and also how to do kind of self-reflection. And so these are things that you and I do with the group, with the community. And we have seen exponential growth with all of these people. Every person that is a part of it are doing really big things, whether it's within their firm, also outside, and out in the community, those kind of things. And so when you make a comment, you go into the drawing. When Jesse pulls your name up on the screen, you get a free, you get to come and join us for a month and get to kind of experience that and see what that looks like. So there we go.
You got it. So it'll be another layer. Like Sarah, you're part of the group. So if you win the raffle, you can give that invitation to somebody else. So if you're already an active member of the Cultivation Crew, the Emotional Bungee Jumpers, just give it to somebody else. Mm-hmm. And so the way to get in is just to comment and interact in the chat. And all right, now I got it. You ready for me to press the button, Jen?
I'm ready. Push the button. Pressing
the button. You know what? We need what is it? The Price is Right. Remember when they used to pull those? Yeah! All right, Chief Marketeer, you're going to get the information to come hang out with us next month.
Virtually. Oh, so virtually, so it's okay. It doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Where it's not an in-person thing. You're not gonna have to buy a plane ticket. You just need to like accept the invite on your calendar and then come have awesome, super duper awesome fun. All right, Jen. Can you carry us for a little bit? Because I need to chair. I need to share the chewies coming out of me. I need to share the link for the after party.
Yes. So I will do, I'll do my closing thoughts while you are sharing that with everybody. Is that good?
Yes.
Okay. So we opened a little bit this morning with kind of that fear of uncertainty or the fear of what's next. And we're not sure about that. So that can keep us from sharing and really taking steps. And so I want to reflect on a conversation Rachel and I had yesterday, and also that I've had previously this week with some other people, is sometimes it's okay. In fact, most of the time it's okay that it doesn't, our idea or what's next or what we think we should do doesn't have to be fully baked. And I think one of the things that I'm really good at is like, if there's something out there that could be amazing, but like I don't know for sure all of it, I just take a step in that direction. And it's whether sharing it with Jesse for a conversation or, hey, let's just roll this out and see how it works. And then get some feedback, get some thoughts, and then we'll make some adjustments. So for us, that PDCA cycle of plan it, do it, study it, or check it, and then adjust it, and then do it again. And so that PDCA cycle over and over again is what helps us continue to evolve and get better. But the fear sometimes of it's not ready. It's not fully ready to share, and what if it's not right, and what if somebody doesn't agree, and what if I need that, all those things, all those what ifs are what keep us in that indecision place. And so just like I'm challenging everyone that if there's something out there that you think maybe I could, maybe I want to take a tiny step, even if it's not fully baked, and share it, make a decision and do something and see what happens.
Yes, absolutely. You said something that just kind of slipped out of my brain. Son of a gun. You said half baked, but that's not what I'm talking about. Shoot, I have no idea. Anyways, it was good. It was like a freaking mind bender of an idea that I had, and it's gone.
Of course it was. Probably not ready yet. Probably they're not ready for that one yet.
They're not. Yeah, that's what it is. The crew ain't ready for that. It's too deep. But the link to the after party is in all the stuff. So folks, come to the after party. You don't have to have clothes on because all we can do is hear you. We're not going to be able to see you. It's not video. And the point is so that we can learn from you, understand what you valued, let that conversation go a little bit deeper, contribute to each other, get to know each other. So the links are there. Once we log off here at 9:20 is when we start the actual after party. And sometimes Steve is like playing intro music on his guitar, which I think is super, super awesome. And I think ultimately, like around this conversation, like, what do you want? Right? Do you want to have a different experience? Or maybe more importantly, I'll leave it at this. What do you want? And are you prepared to put in the work to make it happen? That's it. What do you want? And are you prepared to put in the damn work to do the damn thing?
Yeah. If you are, share it with somebody.
Yes. And like throughout the conversation, right, we drop some nuggets and they're like, here's what you should do. Here's what you should consider. If personal growth is too big and audacious, or I'm sorry, if personal evolution is like too weird and crazy, like invest in yourself, right? And here's the thing, like every damn human being out there has some kind of amazing goodness to share with somebody else. Are you sharing it or are you suppressing it? For me, that's where all the damn energy came from early on, is the amount of energy it took and effort it took for me to suppress exceeded the amount of energy it takes for me to share.
Yes.
And the level of fulfillment that I experience every day now is relative to the amount I share. And so it's this flywheel of energy that just continues to grow, and life is amazing. So that's it. That's what I got, Jen.
Letting go of the tether that's keeping you. It's almost like the chains with the cinder block or that whatever that you're. It's like you got to let go of those things to be able to go forward.
Yep. All right. We'll see y'all next time. Come to the after party. Steve, congratulations. And we'll see y'all in a couple weeks.